Welcome to the NeuGroup Insights interview. I'm Anthony Michaels. Joining me today is Tim Muindi, Treasurer of ServiceNow, a software company in Silicon Valley. Tim, welcome.
Thanks, Anthony. It's good to be with you.
So, this is Black History Month, and I want to start by just asking what significance that has for you.
So for me, Black History Month is really about reflection, right? And really thinking about, everyone who's come before me. A lot of African Americans have come before me and have laid the path for where I'm at today, right? So it's a time for reflection, but it's also a time to celebrate as well. And so celebrating just achievements of a lot of African Americans, and so it's also a time to take, to spend a little time celebrating that, but also looking forward, right? Using the hope from those who are past and what's in the present, but also hope for the future, and also recalibrating us to what should I be doing myself.
And obviously, you've now been treasurer since I believe September of ServiceNow, so you've been doing a lot. And I wanted to ask you though, looking back, it looks like you've been in finance for over 2 decades. What has it been like, the experience of being a Black man working in finance in corporate America? What's changed? What hasn't changed? What needs to change more?
Yeah, great question. And yes, it's been an interesting journey. As you said, I've been in finance over 20 years, and most of it has been in technology. And so, in most cases, I've always been probably the only Black person in finance, let alone the company. In most cases, like there's very few Black people, but in finance, it's usually just maybe one or two. Um, and so that hasn't changed much over the years. Not until recently where I started seeing some of those changes. But I've seen the evolution as we reach out to more Black professionals, and we've been going through just different ways of recruiting, thinking about like how do we attract more Black professionals, and part of it has been on me as well to be part of that network in reaching out, and not only to MBA students, for example, but also to other professionals who are looking for opportunities. So it's a work in progress.
And I think the answer is probably pretty obvious, but I don't want it to go without saying, like, being the only one, does that put extra pressure on you, or how does that manifest in your work life?
So I wouldn't say it puts extra pressure, but you're aware of it. I think at the beginning of my career, it put more pressure on me, and that was a lot of the stories I heard from some of my uncles, right, and other family members, who in most cases were also the only ones. And so I felt pressure at that point. It's like, hey, I have to prove myself. But then I got to a point where it becomes almost second nature. You don't really think about it; it's more in your subconscious. But I got great advice from someone just said, "Is like, hey, you already got the job. Just do the job, right? You don't have to keep proving yourself." And I think initially in my career, I got into that mode of like, I have to prove myself that I belong here. And if I mess up, then it probably messes up, my opportunities, but also for other people who look like me and really, have an impact on their opportunities, right? So but that was always there, and sometimes it comes back, right? And so but having that mindset change has really helped me.
So, just stepping back again and to the aftermath of George Floyd and the momentum and the initiatives that were launched, including yours, are you confident that this momentum is going to continue and that real progress is going to be made? Or are you worried that some of this was lip service or checking boxes, or where do you think we stand in that kind of authenticity continuum?
Right. So that's a great question. And so that was one of the concerns that I had initially, right? Was like, hey, everybody is now all in, but how long is this going to last? We've essentially seen this movie before where, all of a sudden the awareness was there, but then after a while, it no longer becomes a priority. But I could speak from ServiceNow's perspective, it's actually expanded, right? And so, we had already had some programs going at that point, but now we decided, like, hey, let's look at this as it's an investment. And so not only just the racial equity fund investment of the 100 million, but now it's looking at other areas and thinking about it from all aspects of the company, whether it's related to education, food security, and also looking at also like equitable opportunities in the workplace, right? We've expanded that, and that continues to grow. And the company has really empowered us to really go out and become essentially the ambassador says like, here's what we're doing. The company is empowering us to do this, and we're also putting money behind it, right? And so it's not just a conversation; it's actually action.
Let's say 20 years hence, if we looked at the number of uh, Black or Hispanic treasurers in the United States at Fortune 500 companies, we're at a certain level now. What kind of expectation do you have for where we'll be in 20 years or 10 years? Is that the right way to look at it?
I'm hopeful, right? I think I'm hopeful. I think I see the steps that I've been taking at least these last few years, and just looking at just the treasury space itself, it's lagging. It has lagged for a long time. I honestly, I think I only know only maybe one other black treasurer. That's all. If you think about it, that's all. Out of all the treasury, treasurer jobs, there's only one other one that I know of, and so there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But I think a lot of it is for us to start being active and not only just sourcing from the networks that we're familiar with, but also opportunities with other finance professionals that might come from different areas, different areas of finance, and introducing them to it, right? And I think that's how we're going to make progress. But I'm glad the discussions are there. The treasury community is very actively involved. This is top of mind, and we're actually seeing opportunities, right, to now become have larger impacts on our organizations, but also lean on each other as we figure out essentially navigate through at least the next few years, and hopefully in 20, 30 years we'll look back and there'll be a lot more people who look like me sitting in the seat that I am.
Thank you so much for your time, Tim.
No, Anthony, thank you. It's good talking to you.
Talking to you.